In 2020, a sushi restaurant in Tokyo, Japan, found itself at the center of a mysterious and unsettling series of events that still baffle both the restaurant staff and investigators. What should have been an ordinary evening of food deliveries quickly turned into a paranormal enigma. The restaurant began receiving identical orders from 5 different locations in one night, and each delivery sent the restaurant workers down a path filled with confusion, fear, and unanswered questions. The orders were simple: sushi rolls, sashimi, and a few drinks. Nothing out of the ordinary. But the peculiar part was not the food, it was the delivery destinations. Each of these orders was sent to empty apartments, with no one present to receive them. When the delivery drivers arrived at the apartments, they found them eerily vacant. And yet, when the workers checked the security footage, they saw something far stranger. A dark figure standing in the doorway, but never opening the door. This series of events raised far more questions than it answered. Was it some sort of elaborate prank, or something much darker? The identical orders, the disconnected phone lines, the mysterious figure at the door, and the strange feeling that seemed to haunt the delivery locations. All of these details pointed to something that couldn't easily be explained. In this video, we'll take a deep dive into the strange and chilling mystery of the identical orders. From the eerie deliveries to the unsettling occurrences around the abandoned shrines, we'll explore what might have happened that fateful night. Was this the work of a hacker, a ghostly prankster, or something far more sinister? Join us as we uncover the details of this unsolved mystery. It started with a simple order from a regular customer, a sushi roll with some sake. The restaurant was used to handling a variety of orders, from quick takeout to large catering requests. But this one stood out because, after the first order was completed, the restaurant immediately received 4 more identical orders within the span of an hour. Each one was the same: a sushi roll, a side of sashimi, and some drinks. Nothing that could be considered unusual or complex. At first, the staff thought it was a coincidence. But when the same order kept coming in from different locations, each new order placed with a slightly different name and address, it quickly became apparent that something strange was happening. The first order went to an apartment in a relatively quiet part of Tokyo, but when the delivery driver arrived, there was no one to receive the food. The apartment was empty, and the lights were off. There was no sign of any movement or activity. The driver assumed it was simply an abandoned apartment or a mix-up, and he left the food outside the door. However, things took an even stranger turn when 4 more identical orders came in, each one going to a different apartment in a different part of town. With each delivery, the situation grew eerier. The same pattern repeated each time. The delivery drivers arrived at the location, found the apartment vacant, and no one came to the door. After the 5th order, something truly unsettling happened. The delivery drivers reported seeing strange figures in the doorway, shadows moving behind the frosted glass of the door, and a dark, indistinct shape standing in the frame, as if someone was waiting on the other side. But each time, no one would answer. The doors remained closed, and the figure would simply fade away. The restaurant staff, growing increasingly concerned, decided to check the security footage from the buildings where the orders had been delivered. When they reviewed the footage, they were confronted with the same disturbing image every time: a dark figure standing at the doorway of each apartment, staring into the camera with what appeared to be no visible features, only a shadowy outline. In every clip, the figure was eerily still, standing motionless just inside the doorframe. The camera angles were slightly different from each building's security system, but the figure was always present. But the most chilling aspect of the footage was that the figure never moved, never approached the door to open it, and never interacted with the delivery drivers. It was as if the figure was not part of the world, simply standing in the doorway as a ghostly apparition. What's more, when the restaurant staff tried to call the phone numbers associated with the orders, each time they were met with the same response. The line was disconnected. It was as if the numbers had been scrambled or erased after the order was placed, leaving no way to contact the customers or confirm their identities. The deliveries were also linked to fake names, which further deepened the mystery. As the restaurant staff continued to look into the strange occurrences, they noticed some unsettling patterns. All 5 apartments where the orders had been delivered were located near abandoned shrines, quiet, out-of-the-way areas that were historically linked to older traditions and rituals. Locals often avoided these places, claiming they were haunted or connected to ancient rites. The delivery drivers, who had been tasked with making these deliveries, reported feeling sick and uneasy as they approached the buildings. Some drivers said they felt an overwhelming sense of dread or nausea as they neared the addresses. They claimed that once they were near the buildings, they felt as if they were being watched, and some even experienced strange physical sensations, dizziness, a sudden drop in temperature, and inexplicable fatigue. One driver described feeling as though he was being pulled back from the building, as if something or someone was preventing him from approaching. These eerie feelings seemed to intensify the closer the drivers got to the apartments near the shrines. The drivers also reported that the air around these locations felt heavier, almost as if something was pressing down on them. It was as though the shrines, once places of worship, were now haunted by something more sinister. Despite numerous investigations, the mystery of the identical orders remains unsolved. A few possibilities have been proposed. One theory suggests that this strange event was the work of a hacker testing the sushi restaurant's app system. Perhaps someone was able to manipulate the app's ordering system, placing identical orders under fake accounts and causing confusion among the restaurant staff. But this theory doesn't fully explain the ghostly figure seen in the security footage or the strange experiences reported by the drivers. Others believe that this could be the work of a ghost, an entity playing a trick on the restaurant. The fact that the buildings were all near abandoned shrines, combined with the eerie sensations reported by the drivers, leads some to think that the figures were spirits or phantoms, tied to the old shrines and causing the unsettling events. Another, more grounded theory is that someone could have orchestrated an elaborate prank involving fake orders and disconnected phone lines. But this theory still doesn't explain the presence of the dark figure in the doorway or the strange physical sensations reported by the delivery drivers. There's also the possibility that the whole series of events was some kind of ritual, an occult test, or series of trials carried out by unknown individuals. The fact that it stopped after 1 week and the creepy patterns surrounding the shrines points to something more intentional and purposeful. The mystery of the identical orders is one of Japan's most perplexing unsolved mysteries. Whether it's the work of a hacker, a supernatural entity, or an elaborate prank, the bizarre incidents involving the sushi restaurant, the abandoned shrines, and the eerie figures in the doorway continue to haunt the restaurant staff and the local community. The strange occurrences stopped after 1 week, and the orders ceased coming in, but the mystery remains. The ghostly figure, the disconnected phone lines, and the eerie atmosphere surrounding the shrines add up to something much darker than a simple food delivery mishap. Was it a glitch in the system, a prank, or something far more sinister? We may never know for sure, but this unsolved mystery serves as a reminder that sometimes strange occurrences aren't easily explained away, especially when food delivery is involved. What do you think happened? Was it a paranormal trick or something more sinister? Let us know your theories in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more strange, unexplained, and creepy stories.